we're going to get into what I personally consider the single greatest business book of all time. And this book was written when I was just a kid in 1936.
Wow.
What? They had so many different scenarios in this book, guys, where it started off with accountability, then it went over to showing gratitude, and there is a part I wrote in the review I sent in where Henry Ford says, if there is any one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as from your own.
There's 7 tactics on how you can influence people to like you and how you can influence them. And again, I think someone touched on this, is to be a good listener, to avoid criticism, to give sincere appreciation.
Become genuinely interested in other people. Number 2, the one that Kim spoke about, smile. Remember another person's name. To that person, their name is the sweetest sound in any language.
Whenever you see someone smiling, you eventually have that expression that they like you. So even on the phone, whenever we talk to the client, if your tone is like, how can I help you? I mean, what do you expect from the client, right? But if your tone is like smiley, upbeat, they will definitely they will feel that you're good, you're there to help them. You're free to help them and you're willing to help them. It sets the mood technically. So it's not just about the call, it's also about how to deal with others. Not just about the leadership, but it's every day in our lives technically. So even though this sounds so simple, it's really simple though, but why can't we share it, right? Why can't we influence people by smiling?
Comes down to the communication style, right?
Yeah.
Because if you have someone like take like constructive criticism or anything like that, if someone is really communicating in a way that lays a foundation and kind of paints a whole picture, you're a little more receptive to taking that in. But if someone's abrasive and demeaning in a sort, but they're still making the same point, but just the way they're saying it, it's like you automatically shut off.
And the book tells us that, right? Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Arash seems to think that's my strength. My strength is criticizing, condemning, and complaining.
Sure.
So it's something that I can really learn from.
Clients misinterpret sometimes what we do, and how we explain things has a lot to do with it. Basically, by asking just questions, you can get to a point progressively. The mood will change by just asking questions, genuine questions to them.
So yeah, I mean, it boils down to controlling your temper and listen to what the other person has to say without putting resistance, right? You'll eventually find areas where you agree. And the story that really made an impact was the one that they shared about the letter that they found on Abraham Lincoln's desk that he never sent to them, to one of his military generals, right?
Yeah.
Where he was criticizing the decisions that he made, but before sending it, he just decided not to send it because anything that says how he would have reacted, but Carnegie tries to guess what the reason was why he didn't send it.
Like when I have an altercation with someone, as rare as that is, and my response is in text message, and I write this this terrible message, and then I look at it, I'm like, no, let me not do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plus, I like what it says happens though. Like when you're in an argument like that, right? Yeah. The other person just gets more stubborn to what they're thinking anyway.
A man convinced against his will,
exactly,
of the same opinion, still.
Straight up.
And no one wins.
So to me, having that restraint and having that kind of a step back approach to saying, okay, let me get everything that I want off my chest, let me assess it, let me read it, and then let me refine it down the road. To me, that's a super important tool to have in daily life and professional life.
I remember somebody coming up to me and saying, I have a client, they're complaining, nobody called them, and I would always tell them the truth, but it didn't serve us any good because the truth didn't help us, right? Like it wasn't the point. Like they don't want to know we called them 17 times and the client didn't answer. So today the answer is, you know what? Thank you so much for bringing this to us. We're always looking for ways to get better.
Well, that was one of the customer service stories where the guy says, "Hey, thank you so much for. It's more important to me that you brought this to our attention so that we can get better."
Absolutely.
Right, and that one comment gets to diffuse
everything.
The situation. Is that your experience?
100,000,000%. Everything.